What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to LFG, and today we're going to quickly go over the new set that just came out. We're not going to go over every single card because that video would be way too long, but what we're going to do is go over the information they put here in updates and bug fixes, and then we'll open some packs. So, new set, the Fall of Argentport. Over 275 new cards and new mechanics have been added to Eternal. The new set is now available for purchase from the store and can be crafted via Shiftstone. New theme decks are now available for purchase from the store. The draft format has changed to draft the new set along with the curated draft packs from previous sets. So, very similar to the previous sets that came out. Gauntlet and Forge seasons have ended, so progress for all players has been reset in both Gauntlet and Forge. I'll probably do a Gauntlet and a Forge video. New AI opponents have been added, including new bosses in Gauntlet. Cards from the new set have been included in some existing AI decks. Reward update. Packs from season rewards rank up chests in the Gauntlet and Forge, and the free pack awarded for first win of the day have all been updated to give packs from Fall of Argentport. Packs from standard chests have been updated to randomize between the Eternal Throne, Omens of the Past, and the Dusk Road, weighted according to the number of cards in each set. And new achievements have been added. I actually have not checked that out yet. 5 new totems are available for purchase in the store, themed to each of the 5 factions. That's cool. Take a quick look at that. The deck builder will have a separate tab for creating a market. A market icon will appear on the playmat if you are playing with a market. So they have some new cards with the mechanic called Market, where you can keep, I believe, 5 cards in there, and when they trigger you can do whatever it is they say. Card zoom in is now available on smartphone during draft mode to see amount owned. Okay, let's go to game general. Importing a deck will now prioritize adding premium versions of owned cards. This seems like a small thing, but it's good because whenever I imported a deck before and I went to save it, then it would ask me if I wanted to use premium version instead. So just adding that right off the bat is pretty good. Gameplay. Destiny units drawn from the void should now correctly draw you a card from your deck. I didn't notice this issue before, but if it's in here, I guess some people did notice that issue. Units with both ambush and bond should be able to be played with bond in response to killer attacks, relic weapon attacks, normal attacks, and at the end of the opponent's turn. Makes sense. When a card with warp is put back on top of a deck with second sight, it should now correctly display face up. Cards played by Destiny that require a target should now correctly present when drawn. Card fixes. Disassembler's ability should now correctly deal damage when the opponent has a statutory maiden in play. By the way, if you don't care about any of this stuff, you should skip forward to the pack opening. Rakano Sheriff's ability can no longer be used while Hoover Pacifier is in play. Strategize should now interact correctly when drawing cards with Destiny. Drawing a Lumen Shepherd off of a Time-Worn Sentinel's ally's ability will no longer cause the board to fill with wisps. Never noticed that myself either. The created card from Veteran Mercenary is no longer displayed to the enemy player. The last word no longer gives deadly to devastating setback. Also did not know that interaction existed. I don't play last word very often. Steel Fang Chakram should now interact correctly with transformed units. Okay, so let's see what they're talking about. I bought this, so I had some gems left. I figured why not. They did say there was some more totems. Okay, so here they are. I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't really buy totems. I'd rather buy the avatars. This one looks nice though. Sentinel's Gauntlet looks really nice. And Copper Hall Minotaur. I like this one, but it's a bit more, has a bit more of a subdued look. It blends in really well, whereas this one really stood out to me. And we have Maelstrom Serpent. That's actually a nice effect too. Those two are my favorites so far. And Direwood Spider. Okay, yeah, so the Time one and the Primal one are my favorites from that. They've added some theme decks. I'm not really going to go over the theme decks. Okay, at least they highlight the rares here, so it saves you the trouble of going through all the commons and stuff. So 5 new decks, and again, I don't want this video to run too long, so let's just open some packs. And I haven't looked at all the cards in the set yet, so I'll go over the rare or the legendary that I opened in the packs. Encouragement. Warp, give a unit +2/+2 and flying this turn. Seems like a primal ability. Zuburi Outlands Warlord, 4 for a 3/5. When Zuburi attacks, the top unit of your deck gets plus power equal to his power, and Inspire, units you draw get double damage. Inspire does something to units you draw. Okay. Seems okay. It's 4 for a 3/5. And a lot of the times it's going to be 4 for a 3/5. Yeah, seems okay. It's a legendary with a potentially strong ability. We've seen legendaries like this before. Navani comes to mind. Most times I play Navani, she does not get to do anything at all. Alright, we have Tend the Flock. 2 for 3/01 Sheep. That actually doesn't seem that bad to me, if you're building a deck around that kind of stuff. When you play a unit with more power or health than Sewer Sludge, the sludge gets +1/+1. Roland's Memorial. At the end of your turn, if a unit went to your void, give one of your units +1/+1 for each spell in your void. Okay. I mean, I can see this being played in very specific decks, I guess. It's funny, I just lost to this card. Iceberg Scattershot. 4 for a 3/1. When you play a unit, including Iceberg Scattershot, deals 1 damage to the enemy player. They were playing Fire Shadow Primal. They comboed off with a 0 cost unit and just killed me that turn. They were at 4 or something like that too. So this is definitely a combo enabler. Xenon Life Speaker. Inspire. Units you draw get lifesteal. That's pretty good. And ultimate, pay 4 to give him +3/+1. That's also not bad. This is not a bad card. I can see this being played. And we have Fairbinder. 2 for a relic. Once per turn you may pay 4 and sacrifice 2 units to play a fair sum with their combined power and health, and Berserk. Okay. Another legendary, nice. Sheriff's Hat is 4 for a 3/3 weapon with Spellcraft. 2, play Detain. So Spellcraft is when you play this weapon, you may also pay its Spellcraft cost to play the spell. So for 6, you get to detain a unit and put a weapon on something. Okay. Ankle Cutter is 2 for a 3/1, which means he was probably going to see some amount of play in aggressive decks anyways. When a unit with endurance takes damage, kill it. That's a pretty niche ability. Geomar the Steel Tempest is 4 for a 3/2 Valkyrie. Flying endurance, so not a horrible curve so far. When you play a spell, Geomar gets +2/+2 and lifesteal this turn. So I'd probably see this in a Huru type deck where you're actually running spells. Not bad, but it doesn't stand out. Flying in endurance is pretty good though. And cull the deck. Draw one of the top 3 cards of your deck, put the rest on the bottom. That's actually not bad. Isn't there a card that costs 3 that does something similar? I feel like there is. Let me Can't remember the name right now though. Let's go Shadow. Scheme. Draw one of the top 4 cards of your deck, put the rest in the bottom. Okay, so Scheme is top 4 and Cull is top 3. Cull is the stronger of the two. And you can see that it's an uncommon while Scheme is a common. It's just, if you can do it on turn 2, even though it's one less card, it's a stronger card. Petition. Draw a power card of your choice from your deck for 2. Okay, yeah, so it costs 1 more than Seek Power, but you're not restricted to basic sigils. You can get whatever power card you want. You can get your crests or banners or whatever. Magus of Celerity. 3 for a 3/3. Units you draw get charge, and it also scouts when you summon it. So that's not bad. 3 for a 3/3. I don't know what deck I would play it in, but it's not bad. Especially in Limited, it seems pretty solid. Kyrex Coach Driver. 4 for a 3/3. Inspire with Deadly and Summon tonight to get Nightfall. This is also not bad. This is a pretty... I'd say this would be a pretty solid Limited card as well. Yeah, I don't really see anything that stands out besides that. So we have Quick Trigger Outlaw, 2 for 1/2. When you play a weapon on Quick Trigger Outlaw, he deals 1 damage to an enemy. And Tribute, play 1 on weapon on one of your units. So does something when played if a unit went to your void this turn. So you can play him after your attack phase or something like that and trigger his Tribute, which triggers his other ability. Okay. Granarinder. 2 for a 2/2, pay 1 and sacrifice him to kill an enemy attachment. That's not bad, especially since you're already curving out and he's a Grenadin, so the decks he would go in, he work very well. 2 for a 2/3, summon, gain, basically you gain the influence back, and ultimate, discard a spell to get +2 power this turn. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up in some kind of combo deck at some point. Or something very aggressive. It's very similar to, there's a card in Magic that does exactly this actually. Except it's 2 for a 2/2, I believe. Won't be pretty. Choose 2 enemy units. The enemy player chooses 1 to be dealt 6 damage. They play a 1 of 1 weapon on the other. Okay. I mean, if they have 2 monsters, this is pretty solid. Still less damage coming at you that way. Cussle Battle Mage. 3 for a 3/3 with Aegis. When you play a spell, he gets +1/+1 this turn. Oh, it's one of those new lands. So it comes into play depleted. You gain Shadow. And you transmute 5 Cabal Tactic. So transmute 5, when you reach 5 maximum power before playing this, it transforms into a new card, which is, in this case, is Cabal Tactic. Give 2 of your units +2/+0 and quick draw this turn. I don't know if it's a fast spell or not, but I'm always down for new power cards. So it has Charge, Infiltrate, put 3 Scorpion Traps into the top 20 cards of the enemy deck. And Scorpion Trap says when Scorpion Trap goes to your void, the enemy player plays a 1/1 Scorpion with Deadly. Okay, so it's kind of like same mechanic as Firebomb, except you get 1/1 Scorpions. I like that. We got another one of those Grenadins, and we have a 2/2 Killer Yeti for 3. And we have Marionette Cross. So you summon this, You play a 5/5 marionette, and entomb you sacrifice each marionette. And the marionette is 3 for a 5/5 with entomb, sacrifice each marionette cross. Okay. I mean, they're dependent on each other, but it's 3 for a 5/5 essentially. And that's before any shenanigans become involved. So 2 mana, Nightfall, draw a card. Essentially it's 2 mana for 2 cards. Yeah, I guess they couldn't make this a fast spell. Initiation Bell. Once per turn you may pay 1 to create and draw a 2/2 monk with endurance if you have played a spell this turn. Okay, so there's a restriction on it. Or 2 restrictions in this case. Soulbringer is 4/4/4/3. Play Wisp from your Void. Okay, so this is for a tribal deck. It's a straight up tribal deck. I think I actually faced a Wisp deck last night. So this is the same as the Shadow one, except Shugo Tactics give a unit +4/+2 and overwhelm until end of turn. We have Ixtun Merchant. Overwhelm, summon, you may choose a card from your hand to swap with the red card in your market. And again, market. Merchants allow you to store up to 5 cards in your market when you build a deck. When cards are retrieved from a market, they are drawn. And I think I should point this out. 4/4/05 with Ambush, and when you summon it, you ready your other units. This can be a really good combat trick. I like this card a lot. Negate an enemy fast spell. Yeah, why not? Cost 1. So not as strong as Backlash, but cheaper. Long Live the Queen. Negate an enemy spell, draw a card. They're adding a lot more counter spells right now. This seems good. It seems fairly cost. The Warp, of course, makes it very strong. And drawing a card means it replaces itself. It's pretty good. Cost 4, but you get the value for 4. And I know they don't want to make these spells as busted as they are in Magic. Alright, so I saw this card yesterday. Pretty sure I'm going to build a deck with this in there. For 3 mana, you create and draw 2 7/7 Sandworms. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make something with this. Frontier Bard. When one or more of your other units hit the enemy player, he gets +1/+0, and our units get overwhelmed when we draw them. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. Another Cull. This is 5 for a 1/1. Tribute. Create and draw a 7/7 Sandworm. Once per turn, you may pay 2 to give Worm Enchanter +4/+4 this turn. It's a 6/4/5/5 with Berserk. Berserk's pretty strong. More of a finisher tactic or just a really aggressive deck. When Dashin Rapscallion attacks, she gets +2/+0. So basically that turn she could become a 9/5 if you give her Reckless. And Bloodthirsty Brawler is 5 for a 4/6 with Overwhelm and Berserk. This might see some play. Overwhelm with those Berserk cards seems pretty solid. 2 for a... Oh, sacrifice a unit, never mind. So this is another Inspire unit, gives flying, And summon, play Inferiority Complex on an enemy unit, and it just makes the enemy unit reckless. Play 2/1 Wisp, then you gain 1 life for each of your units. And Thief's Pick makes the unit unblockable, and you can pay an additional 3 to play Pilfer, or Pilfer, however you want to pronounce that. Sheriff Marley, it's 4/4/4/4 with Aegis. Once per turn you may pay 3 to draw 1/1 Deputy with Aegis, and Tribute, silence an enemy unit. This is a pretty solid card. Seems pretty solid. And that's bad timing on the phone. Pay 4 and discard a spell to draw 2 cards. So when I'm looking at this card, it's 3 for a 3/3 already on that curve. And the pay 4 is not a ultimate. So that means you can definitely do this more than once. Alright, let's move on. 14 more packs to go. Rika, Desert Navigator. When Rika hits the enemy player, the top card of your deck gets warped this turn. 3 for a 1/5. Once per turn, you may pay 2 to give one of your units +3, -2. I thought I said +3, +2 for a second. That would have been pretty strong. Five for a 4/4 with Lifesteal, and if one of your units died before you played it, then it's a 5 for a 6/6 with Lifesteal. We have another Merchant here. It's 3 for a 3/2 with Aegis. And of course, like all these other merchants, you get to get something from market. Deal 5 damage to each unit with flying. I'm glad they made this card. I like this. I think it's a fair card. If people are trying to play all flyers, they're already trying not to interact with your board, so it seems fair. Steal and ready an enemy unit this turn for 5. Okay, yeah, that's trade-off. Is cost 2 more than Madness, but it has Warp. Discard a card to create and draw 2 3/1 Flame Fangs with Reckless. So 1, 2. Okay, so you're paying 2 cards to get 2 3/1s. This card and the card you discard. It's not bad, especially if you have dead cards in your hand. But I mean, I don't know. I'd have to play test it. Steal an enemy relic and put it into your hand. Oh, and it also does Nightfall. This, for me, would be a sideboard card. When the wielder hits the enemy player, create and draw 1/1 Grenadin. And if you pay an extra 3, you can quarry. It's not bad. Pathlighter. 1 for 1 with Deadly. Infiltrate. Reduce the cost of each rating in your hand by 1. And if something has died, which is very likely if you're playing Wisps, this is 1 for a 3/3. Four for a 0/10 with Reckless. When Momentum Builder attacks, it gets +3/+1. If this had Overwhelm. But I guess there's ways to give it that. Reality Shift. Put an enemy unit into its owner's hand, plus an additional enemy unit for each of your units with Endurance. So this could be a mass bounce spell, essentially. unblockable at night, and makes nightfall if tribute is active. Cards can't leave the enemy void, and you can play a vanquish. Okay, this is pretty good. So you pay 5, you trap their cards in their void, and you get to vanquish something. It's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. Insatiable Cerasar, 4 for a 3/3. When he attacks, spend your remaining power to give it that much power and toughness. Alright, so this guy can get out of hand very quickly if, say, no one has anything to stop it that turn. I like this card a lot. And transmute 5 on this gives you Temple Tactic, which is put a unit and each weapon it's wielding into its owner's hand. Okay. Carindon Merchant is deadly with the same marketability. Pay 1 and sacrifice Iceberg Hail Shrieker to deal 2 damage to the enemy player. Yeah, I mean, he comes down early, and if you don't need him anymore, the board's out of hand, you can cash him in for some extra damage. This is a common, but I figured I should point this out. 2 mana to do 1 damage to each enemy, and you get to scout. I can see that seeing some form of play. What do we have here? Nash Pridemaster, 4/4/4/4. Could be a 7/7, and when he attacks, discard the top card of your deck. If it was a unit, your other units are invulnerable to damage this turn. Okay. Doesn't seem busted or underpowered or anything. Just seems like a decent card. And the final pack, Crunch the Hoarder. So it's 3 for a 3/3 with Overwhelm and Infiltrate, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. If you discard a spell or attachment, he gets Berserk. It's actually pretty solid too. This is, oh god. This is probably going to see play in that stupid blue, that aggressive deck that it's already running all over ladder. Okay, well those are all the packs from the new set. Let me know if there's any cards in the new set you guys are excited about playing with, and I'll see you in the next video.